Hey guys, welcome to another video from Get Out Alive Survival and Bushcraft. My name is Chris. Really appreciate you guys stopping in and watching this. This has been a video that I have been waiting to do for a long time. About a year ago, around this time, I started a video series called Bug Out Bag Basics. And it was a really fun series to do, and I got a lot of feedback. A lot of great comments, a lot of suggestions, and really good constructive feedback from you guys. The series ended and the last bag still had some gaps as far as essential items for a well-rounded survival pack. So as I've been telling you in other videos, if you've watched some of the videos before this one, I've been talking about this bag for a long time, and that's because I have been working very hard to build a much more well-rounded bug out bag from the ground up. So completely started over pretty much with a brand new bag. The last one, too small for a good bug out bag. It just lacked the space and the size for a lot of the stuff you're going to want to have with you if you have to bug out or if you're in a survival situation. This is what I'm calling my bug out bag, and that is what it's going to be at the end of the day. But it's a survival pack. You can build it similarly, making your own to be a get home bag or anything like that. But all of those bags have a lot of common items and elements that need to go in every bag. Your major components are going to be shelter, food, water, being able to build fires and keep those going easily, and items that you're going to need to stay warm in the winter, and just keep you as comfortable in a survival situation as you can be. Items that are going to contribute to you being able to stay well and feel healthy and confident to get through the situation. So you're going to want to have key elements in any of those bags, whether it's a get home, just a survival pack, even if you're going on a camping trip. You want to take stuff with you for unforeseen situations. If you ever got lost, if you got stuck out somewhere longer than you intended to be, you need to have elements and items with you that are going to help you ride out the long term. So this bag has been completely rebuilt to address some of the gaps that the other bag had, and to address what a good bug out bag needs to have in it. One thing you will notice, well, first of all, let me talk about the bag. This is a Mardingtop 65 liter bag. It's got two side compartments here. The main bag is about 55, and these are each 5 to give you 10 more liters. So for a total of 65 liters on the pack. Mardingtop makes a wide range of packs and in a good price range. They're very budget friendly. I got this one for around $100. So got it off of Amazon. Again, Mardingtop, I'll put that in the description if you guys want to look that up and are interested in that bag. Amazon carries a huge range of their products. But Mardingtop is the bag. This is their 65 liter pack, and as you can see, much larger than the last pack. Gives me a ton more space for crucial survival and bug out bag items. Another thing you'll notice very immediately is no gear except for this axe on the outside of the pack. One thing I got a lot of good feedback from you guys on is it doesn't make a lot of sense to have a lot of your gear dangling off of a pack, especially on a survival bag. You don't want to dare lose any of your items or gear that you're going to be counting on being there whenever you get to a location where you're going to start using stuff out of the pack, and then you find out that something's come off along the way. Totally hear you on that. So that is one thing that with this pack I did away with. The only thing on the outside is this axe, and it is very secure in the molly webbing, and I even have it tied here with paracord to keep it from being able to pull up and out of the pack. So got rid of gear hanging around on the outside of the bag. It just doesn't make sense to have all that hanging there. It's a catch and hang up if you're moving around in dense woods or anything like that. And like I said, and as many of you commented, it just runs a higher chance of stuff coming off your pack. So with having covered the bag itself, I'm going to start with the axe hanging on the outside. That is an upgrade from the last pack as well. Let me untie this and show you guys what I decided to go with for this pack. So on the last pack, I went through a couple different axes on there. I had a fiberglass handle, just regular like 2.5 pound head, camp hatchet. Then I switched over to a Fiskars, and the Fiskars was great, but that actual axe is in my truck. It's part of my kind of survival or emergency situation gear for my truck, so I keep that out there in that. Plus, I wanted to go with something just a little bit larger than that Fiskars, but still very similar design. So what I ended up going with is the Schrade. Now, if you'll notice right off the bat, this is very similar in design to the Fiskars. And I think Schrade probably used some inspiration from them in this axe design. If you look online, you'll see Schrade, Gerber, Fiskars all have very similar shaped and designed axes. This one is a little bit different than the Fiskars. It's got a, if you can see this, it's got a saw blade here that folds out from the handle. Now, I did not get this for the saw blade function. You'll see in a minute, I have a saw in the pack. What I wanted this for was a little bit longer handle than the Fiskars had. That was my main purpose for going with this model. I like the Fiskars design, but this gives me the longer handle. This one actually slides down the hatchet and off the bottom. So it comes with that. It's a nylon and Velcro sheath to protect your axe head, keep it out of the way. If you're interested in the model, this is the Scaxe9 by Schrade. And as you can see, very similar design at the top to the Fiskars. I like that design. The head is built into the handle, so you have a lot less chance of something breaking off or losing the head of the axe while doing wood processing, chopping down a tree, anything like that. So I like that design. That's one thing I like about Fiskars, is that it takes a lot of the worry off of the head coming out of the axe or flying off while you're chopping. Decent length handle. I don't have the specs on me right this minute for how long this is. If I was guessing, I think this is around 15 or 16 inches top to bottom. So like I said, I don't have those exact measurements on me, but this is it's the Scaxe9. If you want to look it up, Amazon carries it. You can get it off of Schrade's website and a bunch of other places. But very nice chopping head, plenty of area, good cutting edge right here. Like I said, it does have the fold-out saw. If you're interested in that, that's not why I got it. It does have a bit of a rubberized texture here on the handle, so you can get a good grip on it. Won't slide out of the hand very easily. And this is the axe I decided to upgrade to for processing firewood and for my survival axe. And another thing, speaking of the handle, I don't put any like wood handled knives or axes or anything on a survival pack. And the reason for that is if you're in a survival situation, you're going to be stuck out in less than ideal circumstances. You're going to be out in all kinds of weather. Your gear is going to get subjected to the elements and everything like that. So what I want is stuff that is not going to break down or rot from getting wet, being rained on, anything like that. So that's one reason I go with these style axes for survival bags. Now for bushcraft bags or camping trips and stuff, wood handle's great. The traditional style, that's an awesome option. But for a survival pack, I want to have something that's going to have as little material that can break down or be affected by the elements. So that's a big reason I go with this style. Now we'll get into the internals of the bag. Shooting out in my shed, and the light is a little bit it's not coming straight in, and the overhead lights are not very strong. So I'm having to stay here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. But we're gonna get into the internals of the pack right now. Like I said, 65 liters total. Now, it has the top compartment. Let me see, there we go. It's got the top compartment that opens up here, and in the very top of the bag, I have my fire building, Instafire, dry tinder. I try to have a few different options in these bags for fire building. I've got about 3 packs of the Instafire in here. You've seen me use this. If you've watched any of my other videos, you've seen me use this a lot. This is an awesome lightweight option for fire building material. It's super easy to light. You get multiple fires out of one bag, and it burns in all kinds of conditions. If you're in wet conditions or anything like that, this is a fantastic way to get a fire going. So this is a great lightweight, easy to use fire builder. One thing I wish they did was, it's not a resealable package. So once you open it, there's no way to, other than like rolling it up and putting a rubber band around or something like that, it doesn't seal again. Right now the bag is waterproof, so your fire starter is protected. But once you open it, it's exposed to the elements. It's no longer sealed, and that's one thing I wish they would change about this bag, is make it so that once you open it, you could reseal it. I've got paracord, some 550 paracord up top here. As you know, a huge range of uses for this: shelter building, securing your tarp, all kinds of different stuff for survival, bushcraft, any of those situations. So I keep paracord up here on the top of it, and I'm going to show you this. If you watched the last Bug Out Bag series, I upgraded the fire steel. This is a 1/2 inch by 6 inch long fire steel. It's got good amount of paracord actually tied to it, which connects your striker here at the end. You can use a knife on this, but a nice thing, they included a striker right here on it and paracord. You will get thousands and thousands of strikes and ability to start fire off of this right here. So I upgraded this for this bag. I found this on Amazon. I really like the beefy large fire steel. Like I said, plenty of paracord on there and your striker right there. So that is up top in my fire building as well. I'm gonna try to keep this organized because I got a lot of stuff to lay out here. Another thing I keep up top, this is a PVC poncho. Again, upgraded from the last bag. Much more heavy duty poncho, and I have this up top so that if it were to start raining, I can get this out quickly and get this on. I won't have to go digging through the bag to find it. It's up top where I can grab it and put it on. While I'm talking about that type of thing, if it starts raining, one cool thing about this, in the bottom of the bag right here, there's a zippered compartment, and what came with it is a rain cover for the bag. So I have this up top for me, and then that in the bottom for the bag, so that if it did start raining, turn into a wet situation, I can take the pack off quickly, get the rain cover out, and stretch it over. It covers the whole pack here in the front. It doesn't quite wrap around to the other side, but you can still cover up, and especially if you're wearing it and it's up against your body, you can keep your pack covered and most of the rain out of there. So that's a cool thing they included with it. The other things up here, waterproof matches and waterproof containers that they're in. So another fire starter. Like I said, I like to have 2 or 3 options with me as far as fire starter, in case one fails, in case you lose one, you've got a fallback. So just waterproof matches up top, and the other thing is a couple of these wet fire from Ultimate Survival Technologies. These little cubes, these burn. You can get them wet. Just another fire starter option. I'm going to cut the video and be right back. This camera is getting close to 16 minutes, and when it does that, it automatically shuts off, and I don't want to be in the middle of showing you guys something that cut off. So I'm going to stop it and restart it. Okay, I just did that so that kind of cut off it turning off on me. It does that. I don't know. There's no way I've been able to find to get this camera not to do that. After about 16 or so minutes, it just shuts off. It stops recording. So I don't want it to cut off when I'm in the middle of showing you something and not realize it's off. So that's the top of the pack. That's everything in this little top compartment right here. It's just my fire starter. I keep that up top so it's easy to get to. And then the poncho for in case it starts raining, I can throw that on real quick. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you what's in the two side compartments. These are my water and food storage. So keep large, there's one of these on each side. It's just life water with the kind of sport nozzle tip here on it. But one thing the last pack did not have was water inside it. So that's definitely something I wanted to address in this bag, was have food and water on hand. Yes, you're gonna try to forage and obtain food when you're out in a survival situation, but you need to have stuff with you to rely on while you're trying to get other means of food and water. So got water in here. Got some Ziploc bags. These are just in case I need to make anything waterproof while I'm out. I can store it in here, zip it up, and keep it out of the elements. So that's in the side. And then we've also got an assortment. These are Cliff bars. These are good energy bars. Easy to transport. They're not heavy. They don't take up much space, but they're great if you need to grab something and eat while you're on the go. There's all kinds of Cliff bars out there. This is just what I have to throw in this pack. There's several of those in here, and then there's more food on the other side. Another bar, just a different style. Just a granola bar, and then another water, so that I want to stay hydrated. I went with this size water. I actually had a couple bigger bottles by a different company, but I went with these because these were a good size and saved me a little weight. One thing with a survival pack is you're always trying to trade off what you need against trying to cut down on weight. This pack is not light, but it's manageable. One thing I forgot to mention is the pack does have somewhat of an internal frame system that kind of helps you with the load bearing. So it takes some of that off of you. It's got a good sternum strap, good waist strap on it, in addition to your two shoulders. Very adjustable. It's also got the adjustment on the other side, up and down, depending on your height, the length of your torso, and where the pack sits comfortably on you. So a lot of adjustment options to make it comfortable, even when it's on the heavier side. And my approach to that is, in a survival situation, you're not going to want to get out there and find out I didn't take enough, or I wish I had more stuff to get through this and I cut too much out to save on weight. Like I said, it's a delicate balance. You want to keep it as streamlined and lightweight as you can, but you also want to have good gear with you, because if you're in a situation, like I said, it's not going to be the most ideal, and the more stuff you kind of have to fall back on here, the easier it'll make it on you when you're out there. So I've done a trade-off of having enough stuff and trying to cut down on weight. So that was one reason I went with this size water, was to cut down on a lot of water weight. Putting too much water in there will make the bag super heavy, and then it becomes too bulky and tiring to carry around. So both sides. Another thing I've got in here, the Cliff Bar Company also makes this granola. This is good, again, high energy, easy to eat on the go, and a way to get calories and keep yourself nourished while you're out there. So those are just some food options. There's a whole range. You can do like the freeze-dried meals and things like that you can hydrate, or I should say dehydrated meals that you can hydrate on the go. But this way you have food with you that doesn't need any preparation. It doesn't depend on you having a bunch of extra water or anything like that. You can just eat and go. So that's the pockets. That's pretty much everything in there. Then you've got your big main compartment. Sorry, every time I step aside, it darkens up on the camera. But now I get down to the compartment. Now the nice thing about this is with this adjustable drawstring, you got room to lift this up and expand your storage space inside the bag. So you just open that up from the top, and now you can get to your gear. Now the one thing I have right here in the very top is my first aid kit. Antibacterial wipes. I've got anti-diarrheal and stomach relief here. Allergy relief. There's also 24-hour allergy relief. This is like a Benadryl style. So if you have an allergic reaction, you can take something to try to treat that quickly. And this is 24-hour allergy so that you can kind of keep your symptoms down. If you're allergic to any kind of pollen or anything outdoors that's going to be aggravated, that way you've got that right there. It's also in this Ziploc bag to waterproof it. I don't dare want any of this getting wet if I'm in a survival situation and I need this. So this is all packed out together. These antibacterial wipes, really good. You can use this for a lot of stuff in a survival situation. Help you keep your hands clean, eating, and like I said, they're antibacterial, so you can wipe off cuts and things like that. And I have it with the first aid kit since it has that property. But this is just kind of the first aid kit that I bought, and then I've added some stuff to it to kind of round it out better. And I keep that at the top so that if I need it and I need to get to it quickly, I can just open the bag and pull it straight out of the top. That's all for the first aid stuff. Then this right here, this is by the company Bears Outdoor. This is just a kind of a mini tarp. It's more like a ground cover mat. It's waterproof. You can lay this down as the base of your shelter. It's I forget the exact size. It's somewhere around 6 by 10 if I remember correctly. But good ground cover, and it's waterproof, so you can lay this down and use this as the bottom whenever you're doing a shelter or anything like that. You can also put it above you if you need to keep water off of you real quickly. But I went with this because when building a shelter, there's some more pieces in there. There's a bigger tarp, but I want something for the ground to kind of go in between me and the ground, especially this time of year. Condensation coming up and the temperature, you lose a lot of your heat from your body through direct contact with the ground. So this is just kind of a little bit of a barrier in between that, and with it being waterproof, I like that because you're not going to have a lot of moisture coming up through it and getting you or any of your other gear wet while you're laying on it. So that's in there for a ground cover. That's what I have it in there in mind for. Another thing that goes in conjunction with that, this is from Ultimate Survival Technologies, and this is an emergency blanket. As you can see, it's got the foil. You can wrap up in this and have the foil side towards you to reflect your body heat back. So an emergency situation, especially during this time of year when it's quite cold at night, this is a great way to give yourself even another layer of protection against the elements, maintain your body heat, and keep yourself warm. This folds out. Again, this is probably roughly like a 6 by 6 or 6 by 8 size. Very good size to wrap yourself up in, stay protected from the elements. And I like the foil on there because that's a great reflector to keep body heat. I think this retains something like around 90% body heat back towards you. So good way to stay warm in this time of year. That's in there as well. After that, this is the, sorry, this thing's a little front heavy, but this is the Wild Venture tarp. I said there's a bigger tarp in there. This is the large tarp. This has the pegs on the tarp inside here. It comes in this, you know, very nice carry case so you can keep everything together. Got a drawstring, so you can keep that closed up top. But this is a company I haven't used before, but I found their tarp online, really liked it. Wild Venture is the company, and this is a waterproof larger tarp so that when you're building your shelter, this is going to be my main top cover. It's got the pegs and everything like that, and a ton of variations that you can set tarps up in. So instead of trying to do like a full-blown tent in there, I decided to go this route for shelter. Have the ground mat, the emergency blanket, and you'll see in a minute there's another blanket. I have a wool blanket in the very bottom of this pack, and all those things in conjunction are going to be my sleeping system. So this is the Wild Venture tarp. That is going to be the top to kind of build the shelter off of. And in a survival situation, I'm also going to want to try to build kind of a semi-permanent or permanent structure out of wood and trees, and you can use this with that as your top cover to keep your space dry and protected from rain and that kind of thing. So that's my sleeping system right there, along with the Bears Outdoor for the ground cover, and then the emergency blanket. Okay, all right, I'm gonna cover some more of the tools. One thing this thing really wants to fall. Okay, one thing I said is trading off weight and saving weight on your pack. So in the last series, the Bug Out Bag Basics, one of the problems was there were too many tools. There were too many redundancies, 2 knives, 2 axes. The bag went through a lot of different stages, and it got muddled with tools. So this one has been taken down to 3 main tools. The axe I showed you, this is going to be the saw. This is the Silky Big Boy. There are a ton of videos out there and reviews of this saw. This is a beast of a wood processor. This is the sheath for it. I bought this so that I could slide this in the pack and keep as much metal as I could from rubbing on the inside of the pack. Plus, it's got this belt lanyard right here on it. It gives you another carry option for it rather than just having it in the pack. So I went ahead and got the sheath for it so that when it's inside the pack especially, I can store this in there and keep all this metal from rubbing on the inside of the pack. I don't want to create wear spots, but as its name implies, this is not a small folding saw. This is a large wood processor. And in a survival situation, when, like I talked about, if you're wanting to do shelter building, any of that kind of stuff, your axe is going to be a huge tool for you to use, but this can be too. This can allow you to cut more precise pieces if you're trying to build a shelter out and you need a little bit more of a fine cut on some of your structure. This right here is the second piece for this pack for wood processing. Then last piece is of course a knife. Now if you watch my videos, keep up with my channel, you know that Bowies are my favorite style of knife. It's my preferred knife, usually to carry. And this is the Schrade Leroy Bowie. Large knife. Yes, it has the ability to be a chopper. It's got a very nice plastic sheath. Lots of lanyard holes for lashing it to a bag or something like that. But very nice, heavy-duty, hard sheath. Knife fits in there very securely. You kind of have to tilt it back towards you and pull to get it to release. But this is the, it's called the Leroy Bowie. Model number is the SCHF 45. Full tang knife, very large blade, great beefy spine, And then it's got these, I believe they're called TPE, if I remember correctly, handle scales. They are a rubberized handle scale, and it's got these little finger grooves right here. So this knife fits very firmly in the hand. And even for its size, it's a well-balanced knife. It's not super heavy or bulky or feel awkward. And it's a great size knife for chopping. It's got good weight up here in the blade. So this gives you even another wood processing tool and another means of processing kindling, firewood, any of that kind of stuff. But a good knife is something you're definitely going to want to have with you. And this gives you another option for that. All right, let me do this again with the video real quick. Be right back. All right, guys, let's delve more into the bag. We'll finish up what I've got in here. Another thing I've got with the pack now is a canteen, stainless steel canteen, and then it fits in this. It comes with this stainless steel cup handle right here. Canteen slides right out of the top. It's got a chain that holds the lid, but you can boil water this way and use that to be another means to carry water. Those water bottles, of course, you can refill, and also use this, and this gives you the means to boil once you run out of fresh water like that. I've also got another water filter in here, but this gives you a means to boil water and to carry it once you've purified it. Okay, go ahead and cover this real quick. One thing I've also done for this pack is a little fishing kit, so that in a survival situation you have fishing line with you. This is an arrangement of hooks, and you've got bobbers here. You don't have to have these. I just did this so that it makes it a little easier to see if you've got a fish on, where your line is, and that kind of thing. But this is just a simple little fishing kit that I've put together. You can also use the fishing line for snares and things like that if you're trying to catch small game, and trying to fix up traps, catching rabbit or any of those kind of things. So it gives you a lot of uses there. But you've also got a little fish kit here, because if you're around water, fish are a great way to get yourself food and nutrients in a survival situation. And you know, all you need is a few simple items to be able to cast those lines out there and hopefully catch yourself food to keep you going in a survival situation. So that's the fishing kit there. Similar to the other wipes, these are just flushable. These break down wipes, so that in a survival situation when you're trying to clean up as you can, for a lot of different uses. I have these in there. They're an easy way with being out in that situation to be able to clean yourself up and take care of when you need to go to the bathroom and that kind of thing. You don't have toilet paper. This is just an easier way to have a hygienic way to get cleaned up. So got those in there. Okay, well, that brings me to this. This is just a smaller bag, a zip-up bag that I have in here. This gives me a way to organize some of the smaller pieces that I have in this pack, so they're not floating around all inside there. And just quickly show you some of the things that are in here. In this bag, I have this in a waterproof bag because these are a couple electronic items. This is a solar charger. It's got USB plug-ins here on the bottom, so if you're in a survival situation and you're stuck, and if you happen to have your phone with you, This gives you the ability to charge it while you're out, so that if you get somewhere where you have a signal or you can call and try to let someone know where you are, you have this as a means to charge that device. It's also got a flashlight in the back of it with LED, so once it's charged you can also use this light on it. Great uses for this right here, and in a survival situation, if you do have a phone with you, you want to be able to get in contact with the outside world, let someone know where you are, and to get to where they can come help you. The other thing in this pack is a headlamp. Instead of doing a flashlight, I thought I'd go headlamp because it's just easier to keep your hands free at night. LED, it's about, I think this one is around 435 lumens. It's got a high, medium, and low setting. Just three AA batteries. 3 AA batteries on this one. It's got the adjustable head strap. And that way, if you're out at night around your camp or wherever you're set up, this way you can keep your hands free and have a headlamp. So that's why I went ahead and decided to go with this. It's also got this adjustment right here where you can go from spot to floodlight and adjust the beam on it. Got a sharpening stone in here. It's got a coarse and a medium. This is great for keeping like your axe, and you can also use it on your knife for keeping them sharpened up and doing field work. There's another little sharpener I have in here, more so for the knife. Just a little sharpening stone. So you got a couple different options right here for blade maintenance, and I went with both of these because they're small, easy to throw in the bag, they don't take up much space, and compact, and a great way to kind of field dress your knife, keep it sharp and maintained. These are great, just basic easy options for sharpening out in the field. This is more of the fishing kit right here. These are weights, so you can kind of choose. There's anywhere from small to a larger lead shot weight on here, and that way you can get deeper down if you're in a pond or a river or creek, whatever, and you need to try to get down to more low-level fish, or if you want to keep it up higher, depending on what type of fish you're going for or what area you're in. This gives you just shot to put on your string, on your fishing line, and cast out. Like I said, the bobber, the hook, line, and this are kind of an easy kit to put together so that you can fish in a survival scenario. That's in there as well. Then I've got, this is from the company Light My Fire, by I believe it's Swedish company. But this is just a couple sporks, so that way you can use that for your eating. Water purification, I have the life straw in here. Great thing about this is you can, especially around running water or areas that are not terribly contaminated, I guess I would say, water, you can put the straw directly in and drink straight out of stream. You can of course also put it like in the canteen or something like that and drink out of it using this. And this filters viruses and bacteria. This is a great easy water filtration system to have with you out on the go. A couple other things. Camp soap. This is just a biodegradable camp soap, something you can use to wash up your utensils and keep your gear clean, especially stuff you eat off of and things like that. Emergency blanket. What else? I've got a small survival kit my friend made. This has got more like fishing stuff in it, and fire starter. So that's just a mini kit I keep in there. This is glue, the Loctite super glue. This has a wide variety of uses. One thing I have it in here for is if you received like a large cut or got injured, one thing you can do is put glue on the edges of the skin and seal the wound back to cut down bleeding. So a huge number of uses that you have for this. This is just one thing in particular, or that's one thing in particular I have this in there for, is if you were to receive a wound and needed to close it up quickly. And then have a compass and paracord lanyard here. It's got an emergency whistle on it. It's got a small fire steel built into this plastic part right here, and it's got a striker for that. But this is just kind of a little extra piece of kit. Like I said, it's got more paracord on there if you need that. And then also in here is highly reflective orange duct tape. Again, a huge number of uses you can use this for. You can use this if you want to make small repairs to your tarp or ground sheet or anything like that. But this also is reflective. You can use it for trail markers. Just a huge range of things that you can use duct tape for, and I have a couple little rolls of this in there. So that's pretty much the majority of what is in there. There's a little more fishing line in here, but that pretty much covers out this bag. Here down towards the bottom, just a few more things to show you guys before I wrap it up. And that is clothing. And one thing I got some really good recommendations for is doing what's called ranger rolls, which is where you just lay your clothes down, roll it up instead of folding it or anything like that. You just roll it up into a tight roll for a pack, and then put in these waterproof bags. So this way I have socks, underwear, pants, shirts, clothing that I can put on if the stuff I'm wearing at the time gets wet, or I just need to change out of clothes. I have dry stuff here, and in these bags, in case your bag falls in water, gets rained through, or anything like that, this keeps your stuff dry. So great recommendations there. Really appreciate you guys shouting out for the Ranger rolls and making the recommendations from the last pack to put these clothes in waterproof bags. That's a great tip. I just have a couple. This is more. This is the pants and shirts. And then I do have one of these in here. I don't have this as the main source of food. I just have this in there in the bottom as an emergency fallback. This is the emergency food ration bars. One thing I have been told is that these are very dry to eat, so they're gonna make you thirsty. So you're gonna wanna make sure you eat these when you have access to water. If you find yourself in a situation where you have good access to water, this would probably be when I use these. Say the other stuff for on the go. But I do have these in there because they are a good compact way to have calories and nutrients with you on the go. So that is in a waterproof, sealed. This has like a 5-year shelf life on it. So good long-lasting food, but I have heard that they are very dry to eat. So take that in consideration when you're out. Shown you these before. This is just a pack with a small pair of binoculars in it to kind of help you if you're in a survival situation, see what's up ahead, help you get a view of things further away. So I just have a small pair of binoculars in here. And then lastly, at the very bottom here is this heavy duty wool blanket. This is in the bottom of the pack, and this is part of my shelter system. Good heavy duty wool blanket to stay warm. I may look and see if I can find a bigger bag, a waterproof bag to put this in so that I can keep it safe in the bottom of the bag as well. Right now it's just out like this. But this is a good warm wool blanket so that on cold nights like the time of year we're in right now, this gives you something to cover up and stay warm through the night. So that pretty much rounds out the bag, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Like I said, Mardingtop is the brand that makes this pack. They have a wide range, very budget-friendly bags. If you don't want to spend $500 on a backpack, especially if you're getting started and you're just looking for a budget-friendly survival or camping bag, they make all kinds of stuff. I just went with this model because it was such a good size and a good price range. It is $100, but it's a well-made pack, very heavy duty, a lot of MOLLE webbing on the outside to attach stuff. If you do decide to put stuff on the outside of the bag, it works for the axe. But I've been wanting to make this video for a long time because I didn't like the other pack having the gaps and holes in it that were so essential to survival. So I've been wanting to do this bag for a long time. This weekend I got the last few pieces for it and finally was able to finish it off, have it completely built out, and make this video. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I got a lot of other stuff coming up. We're going to be taking out this gear and using like the new tarp and some of the stuff that's in here in our bushcraft videos. So please stay tuned for that, and you'll get to see more. You'll get to see this gear in use in other scenarios. It is in my survival pack, but I'm going to take it out and use it for other stuff. Kind of field test it and show you guys how it holds up getting put straight into use, because that's an important thing in a survival situation. You want to know your gear is going to hold up. So a lot of videos like that coming up. I'm going to do some overnighters using that gear, and a lot of stuff I'm excited to do to get out. Really want this channel to have a lot more content up this year, so I'm working hard to get more videos set up for the future, and doing the overnighters and stuff like that is something I'm really excited to do coming up here very soon. So really appreciate you guys stopping by. Hope you like the pack. Please comment. Love to hear from you guys. There's a ton of ways you can build out these survival packs. Like I said, there's just key elements you have to have for a survival pack, but the items that you may pick could be a lot different from what I pick, because there are a ton of gear options out there. So let me know what your favorites are in the comments. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you are, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I love hearing from you and seeing your comments each time I post up a video. So please comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Chris, and this is Get Out Alive Survival and Bushcraft. Appreciate you guys. Take care and be safe out there. See you next time.